Now, Butts, you've got a very unique perspective that you've been to 2 mergers. One that's been very, very successful, but even had their own hiccups along the way, and then obviously one that was very unsuccessful.
Yep.
In your own, when you reflect back, what do you think's the key to having a good merger?
Look, I think it's always. I think the hardest thing with the with the North Sydney Manly thing, they were arch rivals, right?
They were the close proximity.
They were bitter enemies. Right?
Yeah,
they just didn't get along. Right?
So you can't merge Sharks and St George, could you?
No, you can't merge Roosters and Rabbitohs.
You can't merge Parramatta and Penrith.
Correct. It's just one of those things. Like, it just isn't going to work. Now, West Tigers and Balmain, had different areas and whatever else, and I think that probably worked. And maybe they took some learnings from, the other mergers that may have happened, or just ensured that they had to make it work to ensure that those clubs survive. Yeah. Because ultimately now, the Bears are no longer, and it's better to, swallow your pride a bit and still be around in the competition. Yeah. Than to not be around. And, the Bears were a foundation club. So for me, I think, the key for me is A, the playing group, B, management, and ensuring that you try and get the best out of the group and, use your experiences from both clubs and try and bring those together. Mate, it's very hard. And, with the talk about it now, mate, relocation, those things where suddenly, mate, you've got a supporter base and you've got fans, and this is the hardest bit about the game.
Yeah, it is.
Trying to make that tough call. And, we've still got Bears supporters who, still talk about trying to bring the Bears back, or, I haven't watched footy since the Super League War. That's 20 years ago now, or 23 years ago, the Super League War. And to have lost those people and not to have that engagement with them is really sad.
And they're diehards, man.
Yeah, and I dare say that they, they loved the game and they were really supportive of it.
Yeah.
The other side of it is, when you do have a merger, is that you've got these young kids who are coming through, who you want them to become your next core supporter base. Yeah. Right? And it's engaging them. So they don't know about North Sydney. They don't know about Western Suburbs Magpies. They don't know about the Balmain Tigers. Yep. They only know the West Tigers. And so I think it's important to ensure that you don't forget your past, but you look at your future and ensure that, you're building a supporter base there and engaging that community. Because, mate, I think the community thing is important. You've got to have that engagement. And players have become, just due to the professional era, they've become even more removed from the community because they're in that bubble, that rugby league bubble. When I first started, guys were working. They come to training over night time. Yeah. So they're out in the streets. They're, people are
meeting everyone, talking to everyone.
Whatever job they were doing. If they're a plumber, they're a salesman, whatever it is.
He used to deliver the orange juice at my school.
There you go. Right. So he's out. People are seeing him, and there's more connection. Yeah. Right. People can actually touch them back then, whereas now, like I said, they're in this little bit of a bubble. They're full-time professional, so they're almost that they're that arm's length away from what people perceive, and what people hear, the money that they're making also. Yeah. Right. So, and I don't begrudge any of the players for making the money they do, but you know what? When a guy who's digging ditches pulls in 70 or 80 grand a year, yeah, and they hear about the footballer who's playing something he loves and he's pulling in $800,000, there's probably a little bit of bitterness there.
There will be.
You know what I mean? So from that end, I think that engagement with the community and keeping the players real is important, and that's where I go back to the pass it on stuff. With the charity that we do, it puts things into perspective for you.
I agree,
and that's the important thing for me. Don't get carried away with who you are or what you do. Just stay humble and be appreciative of the opportunity you got.
Yeah, that's a great message.